everyone, it's KisaragiZan here, back again with another account showcase. Just before we get into NOD-KRAI, I wanted to make another one of these videos. We're in just still the early part of 5.8. As you can see, Ineffa and Sitlolly are still here for 8 more days. For those that are unfamiliar with how I do these types of videos, I will leave timestamps in the description, but as a general TLDR, I go over my builds as far as the new characters that I got since the last account showcase, builds of my older characters, talk about how I would like to improve them, how I play them, if I still use them, and then I jump into the endgame portion and discuss how do I tackle the endgame and what do I use my resin on these days as far as artifacts and stuff, things I would like to see going forward in the future, and any characters I'm looking forward to, whether it be new or reruns. And that basically covers everything about how I do the account showcases. This may be a longer video because the last time I did one of these, we didn't have Stygian Onslaught, so that may be a big talking point. But other than that, yeah, I'll just keep it as as regular as I can. So without further ado, we'll just jump right into the new characters, and yeah, see you then. So first up for the new characters, we have Skirk. Skirk is by far currently my favorite character in this entire game. And she's also obviously the most anticipated character from this version. Partly because I didn't expect her to drop this version. Like, if anyone recalls during the live stream for Movika and Sitlolly, when they teased little silhouettes, she was like right there in the middle, and I'm like, no way that's her, right? And sure enough, it was actually Skirk. But then also, I've been hyped to see this character in action ever since we've heard stories about her from Child, and then also little bits in his story chapters, and even in Fontaine. Like, I think the biggest thing was her appearance in Fontaine. But as far as the build is concerned, she is rocking a 87, factoring the 15 from the Cryo-Res, and then the 270 from her Resin Usage, which obviously I had to get, right? Finale's been out before she even came out. I think it came out during when the Veressa dropped. And normally I don't pre-farm, but I had nothing else to spend resin on, so I was just like, let me just farm this for her, because I just want to have her like day one primed and ready. Oh shoot. Constellations. So I had beaten everything in the game with Skirk with a C0 R1 Skirk, and even sometimes like C0 4-star weapon Skirk, like free-to-play level teams. And after I was convinced that her power level at C0, I was like, all right, I'm just going for Constellations, because either way, at C0 or with Con, she's just like ridiculously powerful. She just one-shots enemies left and right. I will say, on the next showcase, do not be surprised to see this, because again, I just really love this character. Like, this is by far my favorite character right now. Double crown, as you would expect, right? But yeah, Skirk is a very amazing character, very powerful character. My only like surprise about her, or even my surprise about how Hoyoverse designed her, was the fact that she wasn't like a Cryo Arlecchino, in the sense that you can throw her in any Cryo archetype and she'll perform, or rather she'll do exceptionally well. Her being locked to freeze isn't a big deal for me, because I mean it's her team. It's one of the only archetypes, it's been an archetype that's been pretty forgotten for a long time. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe she'll be like a Cryo Arlecchino. But even then, I guess we have like Risley and I guess Ganyu for that as well. So, you know, not a huge deal breaker. But yeah, no, Skirk is amazing. I've been having so much fun with her. She's strong, powerful. Like I'm always surprised whenever she just like one-shots enemies. And I was just like, what the heck is this character? Easily by far the strongest character on my account right now. So, Next up, we have Chiori. Chiori I got from the Inazuma Fake Chronicle Fake banner. It was just like it was a rough decision because I was just like, it was in between Escoffier and Skirk, and I was like, might as well, right? I threw a multi, I got a 5-star of a character's constellation, and I was like, I have enough rolls, I can go in. And yeah, I ended up getting Chiori. I haven't actually played her all that much. Like, her build is okay. This is the only weapon I can afford to give her right now because I didn't get her weapon. I would have liked to, but still. Her pieces could be a lot better. This could be a lot better, but luckily I've been strongboxing Golden Troop for a good bit, so I know I'll get a good piece eventually. No constellations for her. I mean, if I had to, it would be C1, right? Because you don't need the constructs if you have the C1, but as far as something's up with my remote. Talents, I mean, I'm planning to keep her on level 80, but I'll definitely get this up eventually. But talents, I mean, not talents, teams. I mainly just play her with Ito. I wanted to see like how much of a buff she would be for him, but I haven't really tested her in any like serious content because Geo hasn't really been good in a hot minute, unless your name is Navia, but you know. So I don't really have too much of an informed opinion about Chiori, but either way, I kind of had to get her either way because I have all the other Inazuma characters so far, so I said, why not? This is the only one that I'm missing aside from Mizuki, so I just said, I'll just get her. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much out of her, but she just feels pretty okay. Escoffier, a character I did not expect to be like super strong off of the lineup that we had during the silhouette tweet teaser. Build-wise, she actually has a really good build. I would like more energy though, but it's not like a big deal breaker, but you know. Weapon, she was on banner with Navia, and I wanted Navia's weapon, but I was okay with losing to this. As you can see, this was the result. Golden Troop, same thing with Chiori, same thing for Chiori, I didn't explain it there. But I have a lot of these pieces just from farming for Farina. So I just slapped these on to both of them, and yeah, they've been working with this. Otherwise, I would give Chiori husk pieces, but I don't have too many of those. Constellations, I'm not really interested in Escoffier's constellations. Oh, Jesus. Max talents as much as I can. But yeah, no, Escoffier just single-handedly revived a lot of, like, a dying element. It should come to no surprise that I play her with Skirk. Though I will say, regarding Skirk, Escoffier and Skirk is a very powerful combo, but I think you can just legitimately get by without Escoffier. Like, I've played many teams without Escoffier with Skirk, and it worked pretty well. But as for other characters, I can't really say the same. Like, Ayaka without Escoffier versus Ayaka with Escoffier is like day and night for me. I haven't tried her with any other character, like with, oh well, I have tried her with Child, Ayato, Yalan, as like on-fielders. Nuvolette, I have tried, but I'm not too big of a fan of the team. And then I just recently played her with Ganyu, and it was okay, but yeah, no, Escoffier is really, really strong. Like, I legitimately feel like if you are playing the Cryo archetype, you need to get this character. But if you have Skirk, or if you don't want Escoffier but you want Skirk, I don't think it's a significant drop, but it's not to a point where you cannot use Skirk. Like, I think you can just get by with a really, like, a very powerful team with Skirk even if you don't have Escoffier. So, last 5-star is Ineffa. Ineffa, I just kind of picked up just because it was between her and Emily. And as much as I like Emily, I have more teams that would benefit from Ineffa than I have of Emily, because I don't have Knight. So, yeah, I just said, let me try Ineffa, let me see how she works. And obviously she will probably get better with NOD-KRAI, because, you know, a better artifact set. She currently has Gilded, just random pieces that I slapped on her that I was able to find. Constellations I'm not too interested in. And then talents, I do want to upgrade this, but it's not a priority. So, Jesus. Ineffa, comparing her to Escoffier, I think Ineffa is a skip, but Ineffa is pretty, like, has more teams. Like, I played her with Raiden, I played her with Nuvalet, I played her, with Yalan. Like, she is pretty good. And I can only imagine she will get better with like Flynn's and a few other characters down the line. But as of right now, she's not that important, but she is a very good unit, I will say. So for those that are still on the fence about her, assuming the video is out by the time the banner is still here, she's not a bad pickup. Like if you're looking, if you're trying to lose your 50-52. Or whatever the case may be, if you win it, this character will probably go a long way. Last for the new characters is Iansan. Iansan I got during the Mavuika banner. I was trying to get Emily, but unfortunately, no Emily. She mainly just has a lot of attack and energy. I had to give her the event polearm from that one Inazuma event. Scroll user, I mainly just use her on Mavuika teams in place of Shalonen at times. I know you can play her with Chlorine, but I mainly just use Chlorine with Autoron. C1's pretty good for the energy though, I will say. Like without C1 she would need a lot more energy, but I didn't want to keep digging for more constellations. But, and then the only thing you need to level up is the burst. But yeah, no, Iansan's pretty okay. She's pretty chill. Do I think she's as strong as Bennett? I feel like she can be, but I feel like she isn't as like potent as Bennett, if that makes sense. Like she has a lot of what Bennett does, but you can tell it's like a little bit more restricted, but it is still worth having her. Just to have like that quote-unquote extra Bennett. But, you know, even at C0 she was fine. I kind of lucked out with the C1, so. But yeah, that's gonna cover it for new characters. I didn't really pull much between the last account showcase and this one currently compared to the previous one. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the older characters. So on to the older characters. Just as a quick recap on how I level my characters. All my level 90s are either my DPSs or really strong broken support, like Kazuha, Furina, Nahida. Level 80s are typically the sub DPSs or again supports, and then level set in 70s and below are just supports that I haven't leveled yet. So first up is Navia. She has changed quite a bit. Better ratio, more energy. Like she bursts like every rotation. Serpent Spine because I couldn't get her best in slot. She's still on her best in slot set. The only thing I would want to change is upgrading this piece here. No constellations. I will eventually crown this when I can, but not right now. Teams that I use her in, it's either with Furina, Bennett, Shalonen, or Bennett, Mavuika, and Shalonen. Those are the only other teams I play her with. She's still pretty good, I will say. Ito, he still has a pretty cracked out build. Has not received any changes whatsoever. If I had to play him in any team, it would be him, Chiori, Zhongli, Goro, or maybe some other like new type of team. I really honestly haven't played this character in a long time. Geo has been in the gutter for a hot minute, unfortunately. Kazuha, it's still the same, if anything. Sometimes I get some EM pieces here and there when I'm strong. Well, when I was upgrading Layla's pieces, but I don't think much has changed from the last account showcase. So, yeah. I still want the C2, but only for Child International. And talents are the same as ever. I do use him, but I haven't used him much, if that makes sense. Like, there are more teams that don't use him as much anymore, and then grouping hasn't really mattered in a bit, so yeah, I will say though, I'd much rather have him and not need him than to not have him and then eventually we'll need him. Eula, oh man, this character. I still love her to death, but like, man, I need physical to get something. Still the same build, no upgrades. I actually was considering making some pieces for her just to fix up her ratio a little bit, or give her more energy and whatnot. I still don't recommend Constellations unless you go to C6. And then double crown. But I have not used her since that one of this with her and Ayaka. Ganyu, I do not use this character. Ratio is still pretty good though. I have tried her in a melt team here and there, but I think, yeah, when Escoffier came out, I put her back on Blizzard Strayer, and she was doing quote-unquote okay, even though the rest of the the rest of the team just did a lot more. I did pull Ammo's bow recently. I know this is no longer her best in slot, but I'm in the process of seeing how it is. Ayaka, I haven't used this character since Skirk came out. Unfortunately, nothing has changed with the build. She's still on Mistwitter, she's still on Blizzard Strayer, still has wild crit damage and attack. I wouldn't mind giving her like a piece upgrade, like maybe, it's kind of hard to determine which pieces I want to upgrade though, but I mean, either way, she's fine, she's good as is. No constellations here, even though I don't even think the C2 would even help elevate her, but yeah, I will say though, she is a very powerful carry when you have Escoffier. If you don't have Escoffier, it's not worth it. So, but she is on the level of most modern Natlan characters if you have Escoffier. Like if I didn't pull Skirk, if I needed to use Cryo for any reason, my best shot would honestly be Ayaka. So, Clorinde, I can't tell if this is a newer build from the last time or not, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, right? I think I finished her build the last time. But yeah, she has a really amazing build. I would actually replace this though. I would actually try to get something better. But build-wise, she's okay. Well, not okay, she's really good. No, I wouldn't mind Constellations, but at the time, I didn't think I was gonna, well, I'll explain it further down, but yeah, I wouldn't mind Constellations on her. Double Crown, most of the time I use her in Overload. I don't really use her in Dino teams as often anymore. Taser teams, I haven't tried, especially with Ineffa, but I have used Taser teams before, and they are actually really good, but it's really just been Overload. Really, her, Auroron, Chevra, Sigma, Vika. So I know I've not used this character in God knows how long. I cannot remember the last time I used this character. Nothing has changed with this character as far as build. Still rocking the same pieces as before. I could improve them, but no constellations because not interested in Double Crown. I have seen people talk about how Ineffa does help him, but I just haven't been in the desire to really test him and see how he is. I have so many electro carries, there's literally 2 more after him, and then there's Clorinde on the side, so he's just been on the back burn for a little bit. But you know, if he does get like a significant buff and stuff, I wouldn't mind using him again. Yai Miko, I used her a little more than Sino, but not by much. She's mainly just played an Aggravate. Still the same pieces, nothing has really changed. C1 from way back in the day, like when she first came out, Double Crown. But yeah, I haven't used her in a minute. Mainly because like Aggravate just kind of fell off, unfortunately. And there's not really many other teams I would play her in, like not Taser, not Double Hydra, not anything like that. So I just haven't used her. As a sub DPS, I will use her from time to time, but then I have Fischl, I have Auroron, I have other characters that can sub DPS, so it's not like a must to really use her nowadays. But I will say she's a little bit she's used a little bit more than this individual. We have Raiden Shogun, you know, the classic main. Not much has changed with the build. I haven't been farming Emblem in a good minute, but pieces are still really good. I debated on trying to craft another one of these, but on set, or a better one of this. But I'd rather just reroll this, if anything. C6, as you know. For anyone interested in her, I wouldn't go past here. So, but it does kind of help with like some teams, like if I'm using Double Hydra, just to make the rotations faster. Triple Crowned actually. One of my only Triple Crowns. Well, one of my 2 Triple Crowns, I should say. Hytham, I haven't used them in any serious content lately, but I have used them when testing out Ineffa. It's been pretty okay, but I can't say I noticed much of a difference, other than like maybe like a little bit more AoE. Like that's the biggest thing with Ineffa, and same thing with Raiden. Like when using Ineffa with like Ineffa does give you a lot more AoE, which is something that both her and I would say Alhaitham a little bit kind of lack in that regard. But I think it's a better buff for Raiden than it is for Alhaitham. Especially considering her past, or C1 gives her more resolve stack with electric characters. But with Alhaitham, it's not really that much of a difference, so I just still use them with like Yelan, Nahida, and Kugi. Speaking of Nahida, she's still the same DPS build. Well, I shouldn't say DPS build, but like an on-field build for Hyper Bloom. Still the same pieces, as you would expect. I don't really have much that I would want to improve on with this character, because I will say she hasn't really been relevant all like that. Like, I mainly use her if I just am lazy and want to play Hyper Bloom, or if I'm playing Alhaitham. I will say, I do want her weapon though, because I have every other Archon's weapon, so I'm just like, I might as well. Unfortunately, I pulled a Vortex Vanquisher, so... yeah. Farina. I want to say this is the same build as last time. Not much has really changed. She's still, like, there's some pieces, like, I would want to improve this piece. Like, same energy, same HP, trade the EM for crit rate, or maybe more crit damage, who knows, right? And then everything else is just basically the same. I would want more crit damage here, but I'm always looking for more energy. Constellation's not too interested in, but I wouldn't mind a C1 or C2. Double Crown. As far as energy is concerned, I wouldn't mind if I would be happy if she's at like 160 energy. I would be perfectly happy if she's at that, but 153 isn't that bad, depending on the characters. Nuvolette, ever since, like, I will use him from time to time, but I haven't used him as much as I thought I would. But then again, the Abyss hasn't really been favoring him a whole lot either, unfortunately, so it's just like whatever. But yeah, he's still pretty good. I wouldn't mind a C1. Yeah, not much to say. I think he's still a really great carry. I have used them with Ineffa. I've used them with Escoffier. Honestly, they just all feel about the same. I do like the Ineffa variant a little bit more, but I didn't play it the Stygian Onslaught, so that's something I may check out on my free time. But you know, Ayato, nothing has changed with this character. Still the same pieces. I have used him with Escoffier before, and it's okay, but I'm like, I don't know, right? Yelan, well, aside from the new outfit, her build hasn't really changed much. So same weapon, same pieces. I can't tell if this is a new piece or not, but I mean, if you've been following my account and seeing like how I clear content, like my Abyss videos or some of my other like challenge videos and whatever, you'll know that my Yelan doesn't really change much. If anything, it's like one piece at a time because her pieces are so finicky. C3, I wouldn't go past that. I mean, unless you want her as an on-field character, but me personally, I wouldn't go past C3. Double Crown, as you can expect. Child, I have used him with Escoffier, and it was quite fun, but it's very noticeable that, like, you know, it's not a team that he's meant for because, you know, his burst does nothing in that team. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. C3, you know, I just love the character, but I don't like any of his constellations, so Triple Crown, the only other Triple Crown on my account. I have heard some talk about character buffs, and I honestly think that's probably taking a page from HSR. But if they do end up going for character buffs, I would hope that Child is one of those characters, because like he's been holding on to the one team for so long that I would like to either see him flexible on other teams, or just improve his numbers, or make him quote unquote easier to play. Not that he's difficult for me to play, but you know. Awika, I would say this is the same build. The only thing that gets adjusted with her is her goblet. Yeah, these are honestly the same build. When I made this piece, I thought she would be an attack user, but then I found out she wanted to be young, unfortunately. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but I really don't notice a difference. It doesn't matter. She has like 100 EM either way, so it's like I'm not missing too much. But yeah, I mainly switch goblets between her or Arlecchino from time to time, or even this one. This one has a little bit more crit rate, but I mean, my thing is with Malvika, as long as you hit over 1 million, your build is fine. That's always been the case. Arlecchino, same build, same situation. I mainly really use her I use her with Marika's team, which is the Melt variation. I will play her in Vape if need be. Like the thing about Arlecchino is that if I need her, I'm not short of teams for her to be on. Like I could throw on any team and she will probably perform really well. Maybe not as well as Marika in terms of damage, speed, and whatever, but she does enough to get the job done. And yeah, I did get the C1. I think I mentioned this in the last account showcase. It was during it was her and Clarin's rerun, and I wanted Lanyan, and I said, oh, well, if I wanted to see one of the characters, I wouldn't mind it to be Arlecchino's. And this popped up in like two rolls, I would say. Double Crown, I'm not interested in crowning the skill, but yeah. Now, Arlecchino is still one of my stronger carries. She's not the strongest, obviously, that goes to a certain cryo character that came out, but she is a still pretty powerful carry, so yeah. Yoimiya, I would like to say no changes because I haven't, you know, gotten any improvement on the artifacts. Well, not any change on the artifacts, but she did get the constellation. Like when I went on the Chronicle Fate banner, I did the multi and this popped up because I thought it would have just been Chiori, but yeah, that popped up and yeah. I would say like similar vein to Child. I don't think she needs a buff for teams, but I think she should get a buff on like a couple of things. Which one is it? I guess it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't mind this being moved to C5 and then this being replaced with normal attack talent, like kind of like what the Fontaine characters were doing when they buffed the normal attack talent. And then obviously make the burst AoE. Like I can go through a whole list of like buffs that I would give characters, but this is you know, another time, another video. Hu Tao, I think this is the last level 90. Yeah, nothing has changed with this character. Still a pretty cracked out build. Pieces are illegal, I will say. Still hovering if I want this or not, but I don't really play her often. I honestly play her with Shenyun, but yeah. I think that's really gonna do it for the level 90s. So we'll jump right into the level 80s. But yeah, as you if level 90 characters are a glimpse of anything, literally not much has changed with any of those characters. Shalonen, a lot of energy and defense, I'll say. Fab holder, scroll user. She's a very easy character to build, like very ridiculously easy. Kind of looked down on the pieces though, because everything went into like high rolls of everything, into energy. So I wouldn't mind a C2, but I'm not keen for it too much. I think I will keep her at level 80 though, because she's been pretty strong as is so far. So I might just keep her at level 80. Zhongli, nothing has changed. Still the I honestly don't know what teams I use Zhongli on. I guess it's just the pieces. But yeah, I mean the pieces, nothing has changed with them. They're just still the same pieces as always, crits and HP and attack and whatnot. But I can't recall any teams that I would use this character in, other than like Ito. But yeah, if I have to use the shielder, there's one character I would use, but I mean, I will say I will use Zhongli for Eula or Ito, and mainly that's it. Any other team I probably wouldn't use him in, unless I really have to, like maybe like Shalonen. I mean, like not Shalonen, like maybe like Arlecchino, maybe Yoimiya. But yeah, Shenyun definitely fell off a little bit, I will say. She's still like, I think what she offers is good, but there's not too many characters that care about what she offers with the whole plunging gameplay. And for those that do specialize in plunging, they do it without her now. So it's kind of like I think she's better with like with Hu Tao, but then again you could just play Hu Tao with Shalonen if you don't care for the plunging. So Venti, nothing has changed with this character. He's usually on Elegy, but Auron and Fish will have it for the time being. VV energy, like it's literally just energy recharge and EM, and then that's it. That's the only thing that you care about. Constellations are not good. Talents, you don't need them if you're just playing them as a burst bot, and yeah. Jean, it's still the same build. I haven't upgraded her at all. Still the same build. I would have used her more if Shalonen didn't come out. Like Shalonen just took over her job, but yeah, that's kind of the situation we're in. And yeah, this is the only other C6 5-star other than Raiden. Talents, they're probably just gonna leave them as is. But yeah, just haven't used her enough, honestly. Sit Lolly. Okay, so surprisingly, one of my favorite characters from Natlan. But yeah, this is the shielder I was referring to. Like, if I need a shielder, I just use her, or I just use my healers, like Shalonen. Because most characters nowadays have like higher resistance to interruption. But Lolly, same thing like Shalonen. Just a lot of energy, really. Like, I have so much energy in substats that I'm able to just go EM moon stat, which increases her shield strength a little bit more. Otherwise, I would say just give her EM main stat, or no, ER main stat, and she'll be fine. But yeah, no, I think she's a really strong character. Especially considering there are a lot of cryo and pyro, not cryo, hydro and pyro carries that could very well benefit from her. Shenhe, she's found her place in Skirk and obviously with Ayaka, but I will still say she's more of an Ayaka support than a cryo support. As far as the build, nothing has changed. Just crit rate, attack, and energy, and that's all she wants. And yeah, I would say you can do without Shenhe with like characters like Rosaria, but I would probably put, definitely Escoffier is the priority, and then Farina with Escoffier. Shenhe is just like, if you want more, but I don't think it's that necessary unless you really care about Ayaka. Baiju I have not used, and I cannot remember I think the last time I used Baiju was the same time I used Sino, because I only got Baiju for Sino. Energy, HP, energy, that's the only thing that he wants. I should improve this, but I just haven't used them a whole lot. And the only thing that matters with them is his healing, and his healing has been sufficient so far, so it's like whatever. Kokomi has taken a unfortunate fall. I only use her if I'm playing like a free-to-play team. And even then I know there's like other better characters I can use, like obviously Shincho. Trying to think of some of the other Hydro. There's some other Hydro characters free to play. Not Mona. I guess I would say Dahlia, but like Dahlia's a little weird. Oh, I didn't mean to scroll that far. My bad. But yeah. Build is pretty simple. No crits, energy, and HP, and you're fine. Unfortunately, 2 pieces failed that assignment. So, but even with that, she does a pretty good build. It's just like she just doesn't do anything. Like she just heals and applies Hydro, which isn't much of a utility anymore. Well, it's too little of a utility, I would say. D-Luke, I've mentioned this before, but until I get Wolf Spirit Stone, I'm not gonna build this character. Even then, his pieces are a little shot. Like this could be so much better. This could be better. Like all these pieces could be better. And I don't want to farm for the set anyway. I know Marachus is a thing, so I may go to that. But C3. But yeah, no, I don't play D-Luke. So there's no reason to like upgrade him. Lanyan, I have not used since I got her, and that's mainly partly because of the fact that, as far as like defensive utility characters, it's usually I either use Sitlali, Shilonen, or I will even bring Zhongli, because with Zhongli it's just as simple as just cast a skill, you're fine. Lanyan is good, and she does have a stronger shield than Zhongli, but I feel like it comes down to the teams, and the teams that you want to make use of her in, it's kind of hard to, because you want to swirl the correct element, and it's so much, it's a little bit of a hassle to try and get both utilities than to just focus on the shielding. Unless you're playing like a team that has a high amount of elemental application. Like the best character I can give an example of is like Yoimiya. You probably want to shred Pyro, but unfortunately Yoimiya only applies Pyro through her normal attacks or through her burst, and then you always have to wait for the burst. A few other characters kind of have this issue as well, but I wouldn't say this is the fault of Lanyan. I honestly just think this is the fault of Viridescent Winner. So, but yeah, no, I will say Lanyan is still an amazing character. I just think, maybe I'm probably just reading too much into trying to maximize everything. But as a shielder, she is still really strong. Rosaria still, I mainly use Rosaria for free-to-play cryo, free-to-play freeze teams, or obviously with Eula. Still the same build. noblesse, attack, crit. Still a good crit rate buffer, I would say. But yeah, when you have Shenhe, it's like whatever, and when you have Sitlali, like there's many other characters that can take her role. So, but for free-to-play showcases, I always bust her out, or if I'm playing Eula, I'm not afraid to pull her out. Oh, Orderon, very good character. Mainly use him in Overload with mainly Chlorine. I know there's Arlecchino Overload, but I think with Arlecchino Overload, I'd rather just use Fischl, just because she's going to be single target either way, so I'm like, okay, sure. With Orderon, you get AoE application, but his burst uptime is a little short, or burst or skill, whichever one. It's a little bit short, so I'm like, a little too short for Arlecchino, but he's still a very good character. And I mainly only really use him for just to get the, A, because of this, Elegy, and then B, he's Night Soul user, so that helps with Mavrika, getting Fighting Spirit for her, but other than that, he's pretty chill. Kuki, same build, same everything, still rocking Key, still rocking Gilded Dreams, even though I said I would give her Flower of Lost Paradise. I just haven't been able to get those pieces. Not much to say. Fischl has been getting some pieces along the way. She's still on Elegy. I think she's the only one that I will always keep on Elegy. Like Orderon, I'll always switch in and out between Sarah or Venti, depending on the circumstances. Yeah, her pieces I always like try to update them. Cause she was originally on this, but now she's on this. I do want a better one of this. I did pull this too, but I'll just re-roll this and get something better, obviously. But yeah, Fischl I used a lot, mainly with Arlecchino. I'm trying to think of some other teams I really use it with, but not much really comes to mind. It's really just with Arlecchino, with I don't know. It's really between her and Orderon. Chlorine, it depends if I'm using Overload or not. If I'm not using Overload, then I will bring out Fischl. But yeah, it's really just Chlorine and Arlecchino. Beto, I have not used in forever, aside from Imaginarium. I think I will say a lot of characters that I say I don't use, I will use them if given in Imaginarium. So, but I know that's not really saying much. Beto, she has a very impressive build, like 140 energy, good ratio. Like she's able to get her burst back pretty well, especially when paired with another Electro. But it's just there's not AoE situations haven't been the greatest. So it's just like, and like hers is very specific because she wants AoE, but she doesn't want too many AoE. She doesn't want too many enemies. So it's a little, but Xingqiu still good. I just don't use him because I don't know if I just don't use them often because well, I have Yelan, I have Farina, and then sometimes I'll bring out the Hydro carries, so there's that. But his build is okay. Like, I don't think it's bad. And if I need to use him, I will use him. But it's just, I find it rare to need him. Or, I find it rare to need to use him. Considering, like, there's so many, like, other characters I can, like there's so many other Hydro DPS that I can play. And then, like, if I'm playing a non-Hydro DPS, I can just give them either Yelan or Farina or both, and they'll be fine. So, yeah. Bennett, new outfit, still the same build, though. So, still C6. His build is literally just HP, crit, and energy. As you saw, he has, like, 240 energy, so... Literally only takes, like, 3 skills, and he has his burst pass. Shangling... I haven't used Shangling in a minute. I mainly really use it for Child, and yeah, I'm still not getting R5 cap. Yeah, Shangling I just haven't used in a minute. But the build is... Actually, no, the last time I did use Shangling was last Imaginarium. Not Imaginarium, last Stygian Onslaught. I had to use Shangling for the Lava Dragon, and I will say I will alternate between quite literally these two pieces for her. If I'm playing her in a vape team, it's this. If I'm playing her where I just need to have her burst up as quickly as possible, I use this. If I'm playing her in Overload, or if there's a character that can battery her effectively outside of Bennett, then I will use, or even without Bennett, I will switch it to attack. And though I think the Overload, I think EM still works with Overload, so it's not that big of a difference. But yeah, the only thing that switches is her Sands, C6, max talents as much as I can. And yeah, that really covers it for the level 8. So as far as endgame is concerned, Spiral Abyss starting, because this is the first one. As you can see, I already completed it. It's about to reset in 4 days, so do look forward to that live stream if this goes up before the live stream. Yeah. 36 starred everything. I've been 36 starring for a hot minute. My only thing with Spiral Abyss is really just that I know a lot of people are saying it's been getting harder because of the shilling and whatever, but I will say for one, shilling has always been a thing in Genshin, right? I think shilling has always been a thing. It's just, it's shifted from shilling an element or a character, shifting an element or a character to now doing full-on team checks. Like, as an example, and I believe I mentioned this in the last live stream for the Abyss as well. When you have like Aeon Blight, right? You know, the only check for that is bring a bow unit. And then you could just kill it with whatever else. And bringing a bow unit is such a low investment into the team. Or rather to say, like, it doesn't cost much to bring a bow unit into your team. Like, if I know I'm going to use Skirk, I can just slot in Yalan. Or I can slot in Diona. And that will be enough to take down Aeon Blight. Assuming, you know, Skirk doesn't just one-shot it, right? But, you know, and that's a pretty easy check. Or if you're up against an enemy that says, oh, you need a shielder. Well, you can always just devote a shielder, you'll be fine, right? But now the lineups have been like, oh, you need, like one particular Abyss that I'll never forget. It was the Flaming Dragon from Natlan. Not the Lava Dragon, but the one that goes up in the air. It was that dragon, Golden Wolf Lord, and then 2 other enemies, right? And that told you, oh, you need a Hydro to deal with the Pyro Shield and to bring down the dragon. You need a healer to deal with the corrosion effect of Golden Wolf Lord, and you also need a Geo character. So it was a combination of you need Geo, healing, and Hydro, especially a Hydro that can actually hit like in the high air. That basically just said, oh, just bring Nouvelette's team, which was like, I understand it was his banner, they were shilling him, but it was also like, well, there's no other team that can actually do this. So that's been my only gripe with the Abyss, but it's not so much of a gripe where it's just like, oh, I'm sick of it. Like, obviously I wanted the Abyss to get harder, but it's more restrictive than it is harder. But I don't think the Abyss is gonna get harder anytime soon now that we have Stygian Onslaught, so. As for the other endgame mode, Imaginarium Theater, I'm gonna skip the usual banter about Imaginarium here, past. Yeah, this one I fully cleared. Some of these are 9s because I probably just didn't clear it in time, but as you can see, like, I fully cleared everything, so, and I think 8 is like the minimum that you need to clear it, so no. This one was a lot easier than I expected it to be, because it was what, Electro, Cryo, and Animo, so it was a lot easy. Like, it was easier than I thought it was gonna be. This is the team that I cleared it with, because Swanee was at the bottom, and I used Eula to proc Shatter so it could fall down, and then, you know, Shenhe, Skirk, and Escoffier just like destroyed it. But yeah, no, I think Imaginarium still has its issues. My first impression of it was that, okay, this is a really good mode. It's not perfect, but it's decent, right? Then I later sat on it and I've listened to community feedback and I was just like, yeah, I can see where it has its issues. One of them being that it's the timer is too short. It requires you to beat it in 2 minutes. Well, it requires you to beat all the stages in 2 minutes, which I think is kind of dumb. If you're going for dire, it should be more than 2 minutes. The only other thing that I'd have to say that I was kind of iffy about it, or about Stygian Onslaught, was the fact that the weapon skins, unfortunately, at first I didn't care about it because to me it's just like, well, I mean, they're gonna get a race either way. So why do you care about it, right? But then I thought about it more and it's like, well, why does it get a race? Because the echoing thing, the other one, Imaginarium, you know, those you can buy and they stay as a permanent reward. The skins from Stygian Onslaught, you have what, 7 elements, 5 weapon types, that's 35 already. And then you have the 4-star variants and the 5-star variants. So that's 70 skins right there. And then, you know, a quick little newsflash, right? The skins themselves did not change. Because I thought there was going to be like, oh, like new weapons themselves. And as you can clearly see, like 7 elements and 5 weapon skins. They have like the 4-star variant and 5-star variant. So my impression of that was like, oh, well, why aren't these locked? Like, why aren't these unlocked, like permanent? Because you can just set a currency, buy one of the skins, and it'll only be applicable to characters that are of that element and of that weapon type. Like if I wanted to get the Pyro Sword, it would only go to characters that are Pyro Sword users, like Bennett, for instance. So to me, that just didn't make sense, and I was like, yeah, no, I can kind of see why. My final complaint about it was the enemy lineups as a whole. I don't like that they're bosses. I wish there was like a mobbing chamber or like something that encourages AoE. I didn't like the first one because the first Stygian Onslaught lineup was very, very restrictive. This one isn't that bad, I will say. It's not that bad. Papelia is annoying, I will say. Like Papelia has always been annoying, but it's still doable even without Natline characters. You just have to break the shield, and the shield only requires elemental damage. The cactus is gonna be a little bit annoying, but again, still doable because it's not so much looking for a DPS check, it's more so of a elemental, like, it's more of a team check, I would say. Like, it's a good kind of team check, where, you know, bringing an Electro and Hydro isn't that massive of a commitment to your team. And then the other enemy, which being the turtle, I think that one might be a little bit, it might be the more annoying one, but I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, I've been okay with it, and that's mainly because I've been killing it with Skirk. Stygian, just as a brief overall, brief overall summary of it, it is a good mode. I do like it. I like it a lot more than Imaginarium, but there are little things about it that bring it down when it could be a lot more. I do wish it moved away from the timer system and made it, you know, and was originally made with the whole, you know, select which difficulty you want, and then you get points for completing it under those specific difficulties. Or not difficulties, but like the settings you want. Like if you recall, like Feast of the Departed Souls event where you fought Amblight, Electronid, and the 2 bishops. And then you could select like which buffs you want to give the enemy, which handicaps you want to set for yourself, like that type of like content. I think that would have worked better for Stygian. Timer is more RNG because no one wants to die to the timer. No one wants to lose to a timer because you don't know what you did wrong other than, oh, I didn't kill it fast enough. If you, like, I would think just rewarding the player just for completing it, even if they didn't complete it with a certain score threshold or they didn't meet a certain time threshold, that's a lot better because it encourages people to actually get back and try it again and improve on it. But if they're gonna keep losing because, oh, time ran out, you know, it's not fun. It's not, you know, telling people, oh, how can I improve? Same, like as an example, I was like one rotation away from killing one of the bosses in Dire. Like, I would have actually killed 2 enemies on Dire from the last patch one with Skirk, the other one with Raiden Overload against the Lava Dragon. But I was one rotation short, and it's simply just because of time. So yeah, that's mainly my little rant on Stygian. Again, good mode, but I definitely prefer Spiral a little bit more. This is a fun mode. I do like that it is co-op. It is something new, but if they added more to it, I think this would easily become my favorite mode. Aside from that, let's see, what do I use my resin on these days? Honestly, the other good thing about Stygian is that you can just use your resin on this to get artifacts. Otherwise, if I'm building a character, I'll obviously prioritize the character, building them first, getting the weapons and stuff done. But originally I did have it on this, but I just said I don't really need too many of Skirk's pieces anymore. So I've just been farming this just so I can improve my golden troop holders, Chiori, Korean official, Escoffier. Sorry. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the endgame mode. As far as new characters that I'm looking forward to, based off of the NOD-KRAI teaser, definitely looking forward to, I mean, we have an Archon right now. I'll say surprise us, so this is the one patch where I'm like, I really don't know what to get, but I do like Varka. Varka does look cool, so I'm like, I'll probably grab him. And then there's no like reruns that I want. There's no characters that I want from reruns. Like, I still want Wanderer, but like I said, I only have a C2 or C1 of KisaragiZan, so I would have liked to see Wanderer on a separate, on his own banner, if possible, with KisaragiZan. Yeah, C2. But other than that, I don't have any other characters that I would want, in all honesty. A lot of it's just a wait and see. I think that's just really gonna be it. I'm mainly just happy with Skirk. Malvika's been pretty cool. And then the rest of my characters are still strong, especially considering how much I invest into them. But yeah, that's kind of my going into NOD-KRAI expectations. The new elemental system does look cool, so I'm hoping like, well, I do want to see like what the other lunar reactions will be, but as far as like characters, it honestly is Varka, just because I don't have like a main Animo DPS. Not that I need one, but I would like to have one just for the sake of, right? Especially since Wander is going to be a huge issue with KisaragiZan not being at C6, so yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this account showcase. I don't have much else to say. The other previous takes were going to be a lot longer, but I cut down on the end game talk. But yeah, for anyone that's stuck through this video to this point, I very much do appreciate you. If you want to show your support, do like, comment, subscribe. I always upload an Abyss showcase. I always live stream the newest Abyss. I will start doing Stygian Onslaught content as far as like the clears themselves, and obviously not Imaginarium. Some of the other challenge events, I may do, but it depends, right? Like, I think Stygian honestly just has it covered for me, because it's just like 2 contents from Genshin that I'm always just like, okay, yeah, this is enough for like the patch of the month, right? I do have other videos coming out as far as like, you know, summons throughout Natlan, and then obviously the last Abyss showcase. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me here. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. As always, I'll catch you all on the next time. Laters!